Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Seed World podcast. My name is Alex Martin, and I'm the editor of Seed World magazine. We've currently been covering some pretty heavy stuff about coronavirus, or COVID-19, and how it's affecting the global seed industry. If you joined us yesterday, you heard us speak with Michael Keller, Secretary General of the International Seed Federation. Together, we chatted about how COVID-19 was affecting ISF, but today, Michael is joining us one more time to talk about a huge concern among ISF members. So, Michael, would you mind sharing with us what's been the biggest concern from your members during this crisis?
I think, first of all, seed, and this is important, and this recognition, we have it, but perhaps there's even more recognition today than before that seed is the starting point of the food systems. That means today farmers depend everywhere on the access on quality seeds in order to grow healthy crop. And seed at the same time is globally traded. That means international seed trade increased tenfold during the last 15 to 20 years. And therefore, we, since the beginning, are stressing the importance to secure seed supply in these times. And like the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organizations of the United Nations, mentioned, border closures, quarantine, transport restriction, trade disruption would reduce availability and access to a great deal of variety of nutritious foods, but also the need that seed can continue to move. And therefore, together with our network, but also with the international organizations and international associations who are representing other agricultural inputs, we are joining our efforts together to keep agriculture not only high on the agenda, but to make it recognized in these times and to remind that we need to continue our work also in these times to secure the food security of today, but also for tomorrow. Therefore, the unrestricted international movement of seed is critical to ensure food security.
And why is the international movement of seeds so important to your members? Why is it so imperative to ensure the borders stay open?
No country could fully supply farmers with seed of their choice solely from their own production. Seed companies needs to trial seeds in the different countries, also today, and more than ever, to find also resilient crops for climate change, but to secure the food security. March and April are the most critical months for the sowing of spring crops in the Northern Hemisphere. Maize, sunflower, soybean, canola, spring wheat, barley, vegetables. That means it's absolutely critical that we can continue our work. The same for the autumn crops in the Southern Hemisphere. If the farmers miss this window because the seed is not delivered today in time, the result would be serious. Perhaps not today, but clearly tomorrow. And I think this is a situation we cannot afford. And ISF asked clearly in a statement which was endorsed also by all of our members to facilitate international movement of seed and not to impose restrictive measures. The seed companies will take all necessary measures to guarantee the health and safety of workers who are involved in the shipment of seed. And I would like to emphasize here that the companies, the employees, very brave people today, they want to go out. They want to continue the work in the fields. Take an example like India. Since yesterday, full confinement, curfew decision. If we are not able to continue to go to the fields in times where it's so warm and hot and water breeding our production fields, we would fail. And this is only one situation. We have similar situation around the world. And therefore, all our members, all the national seed associations and their members are concerned about the situation but they're ready to engage and to fulfill their commitment to supply the farmers with quality seed.
Now, you touched upon this a bit already, Michael, but have we seen borders closed to seed exports or imports? I know you've recently reached out to your members and asked them to submit their experiences about the movement of seed internationally during COVID-19, but have we seen any closures yet?
That means for the moment, when you look also in Europe and elsewhere, there were discussions on border closing and issues, but mainly every country recognized the importance, what's somehow called the essential critical infrastructure or a vital part of the food supply chain. That means currently, as you mentioned, Alex, we are investigating, we are monitoring the situations around the world on border closings or not. And I was happy also to see when I read yesterday, our colleagues from Canada mentioned that still transportation of seed from Canada also to US and vice versa is possible. That means many countries understood and took the right decisions. In some countries, it took a little bit longer, but today we have not been informed on any major issues. But I would like to emphasize one thing, because we need to keep the borders open. But at the same time, there's also questions about transportation of seed. And we can imagine, and we know also, iron transportation or transport by road with trucks can get difficult, because in the future, perhaps there's not more the human resources there to drive the trucks around. That means there can be potentially coming soon issues related to COVID-19 consequences. And this is something we are now monitoring. I do not hope that we get a lot of this kind of feedback, but I'm pretty much sure that there will be situations in countries related to transportation or related to that the human resources are still not available at that time within the supply chain.
So another question I have for you, Michael, is this a phytosanitary risk? Can COVID-19 be transmitted by the touching of the bags or the seed?
I would like to mention, because that's a question we got, that some colleagues got sometimes. It's a transmission of the COVID-19 through perhaps seed or bags. And I think here I would like to emphasize that the European Food Safety Authority, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and the Bundesinstitut für Risikobewertung in Germany said there's currently no evidence that food, including seed, is a likely source or route of transmission of the virus. That means transmission via surfaces which have recently been contaminated with the virus is nonetheless possible through smear infections. However, I think this is only likely to occur during a short period after contamination due to the relatively low stability of the coronavirus in the environment. I think this is important to remind us all, also when it comes up on the movement of seed in times of COVID-19.
Thank you so much, Michael. Do you want to leave us with any final thoughts from today's call?
I think just one thing. Take care. Listen what the policymakers are saying. Confinement is confinement. But important also, the recognition of seed. Seed is life, starting point of sustainable agriculture. And this stays true also in a very, very uncertain world.
Well, there you have it, folks. Seed will always be the center of life, even during uncertainty. Thank you so much for joining me 2 days in a row, Michael. If you missed our first chat with Michael, make sure to visit seedworld.com/podcast to catch up. I'm Alex Martin, and thank you for listening. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Bye-bye.